There are families out there searching of loved ones lost. There's a lifetime of hurting, praying one day they'll find the missing.
11-year-old Audrii Cunningham from Livingston, Texas, has been missing since February 15th. There are some rather bizarre text messages and a shady character that is a person of interest in Audrii's disappearance. And also, they just had a press conference where I was hoping they had found Audrii, but they still have not found her. I was hoping she was found alive, but they have not found her, but they did release some new details. I'll update you on that and these bizarre text messages. We'll talk about those and many other weird things about this case. So stay with me and we will dig our way into the weird disappearance of Audrii. Hello, my name is Holly. Welcome to the Murder She Shed. This is the place you can hear breaking cases like today and also rarely discussed true crime cases right here from my little she shed. 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham was last seen near her home around 7 a.m. on February 15th and was supposed to catch a school bus. She could be seen every morning walking to school, often stopping to pet dogs. I guess she loved dogs. It's one certain neighbor that she pet her dog every morning, and the neighbor always seen Audrii when she stopped by because her dog would bark and get excited when Audrii would stop by to pet it. But that morning on February 15th, her dog didn't make any noise, so she knew that Audrii had not walked by that morning. Audrii's mother is Cassie Matthews. Her father is Joshua Cunningham. They were not together. Joshua Cunningham is who that Audrii actually lived with, which is her father, and she also lived with her grandmother. Behind Joshua Cunningham's house, there was a camper where 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougall lived, who was actually friends with Audrii's father, Joshua. Joshua was often out on a boat. That's where he worked, and so he was often away from home. And when he was away from home, sometimes Stephen would look after Audrii and help the grandmother. And so that's how he comes into this case. And he also becomes the person of interest. He's also been arrested. They actually didn't arrest him for Audrii's disappearance. They've arrested him for a prior assault charge that he admitted to when they just was talking to him about Audrii's disappearance. So they were able to arrest him for that. And so now that they have arrested him, he has not, according to the new news conference they did, he has not confessed to what he done to Audrii. Although he admits that he did put Audrii in his truck that morning. But he doesn't admit they ever went to the bus stop or got to the bus stop or did not get to the bus stop. He don't admit either way. They said he's partly cooperating, but not very well apparently. But this guy's a predator. And he has been convicted of enticing and endangerment of a minor. But despite that, he was not put on the sexual offender registry. I'm not sure why. What's the circumstance on that? I don't know. Stephen has an extensive criminal history dating back to the early 2000s. His charges range from, like I said, enticement of a child in 2008 to assault of a family member and evading arrest in Liberty County, among dozens of other crimes. Stephen does have swastikas tattooed to his body, and police are looking into whether he was actually part of a white supremacist group called Aryan Brotherhood. They have not confirmed or denied that. I don't know if they know at this time. The night before Audrii supposedly went missing, Stephen was texting her mom, Cassie, and trying to convince her to come meet up with him and Audrii at the park so she could talk with Audrii. I've heard different rumors about why Audrii could not see her mother or was not allowed to see her mother. And we won't go into all that because I cannot confirm any of that. Apparently she wanted to meet up with Audrii and talk to her, but she was a little leery of what Stephen was saying, as you will see in this text. The texts are just quite bizarre. All the text that are in white is Stephen's text. The other texts are Audrii's mother, Cassie's text. So here are these texts. And like I said, his is in white and hers is in the purple or blue or whatever. He says, "Your baby has been asking about you. She said, this has all just come across weird and wrong, and Valentine's Day is not my favorite day anyway. I lost a best friend on that day. She says, what has she been asking? He said, sweetie, I'm as straightforward as it comes. If I was just talking to you to try to F, I would have done tried, which I don't understand that because we don't get a lot of the before conversation on this. She says, touchy, I give you that. He said, she asked me if I ever talked to you and if you were as bad as they say you are. She said, just came off wrong, upset me. Wow, as bad as they say, what did you say? He said, oh yeah, they have made it look like you are just horrible. I told her that you are doing good and are fun to hang with. She said, when did she ask this? She asked me yesterday going to school, he said. She said, I'm surprised she thought about me. She's scared to see me because of the reaction, huh? I mean, didn't you say they kept her inside for a month after I seen her that day at Justin's mom's? He said she does all the time. Yes, exactly. Yes, she is still not allowed outside by herself in the evening. They told her that you are in the woods. She is confused about the situation, but I told her that you are not hiding in the woods, but we talk. What in the heck? Why would people say her mother was hiding in the woods? So then she goes on to a rant about Joshua, Audrii's father. He said, like I said, I told him I talked to you. She said, but it makes me sick to my stomach. They think that's okay. He said, well, don't. I might take you out to the dock to fish and accidentally pull up with her to fish. She said, the one by their house? He said, really, anywhere. She said, that's asking for trouble and setting me up for failure. He says, not at all. She says, I do not in any way need to be set up to lose my child even more. And is this what she asked you to do? And this is what I think so weird. It's so predator-like. He said, I'm your daughter's favorite person and she will not tell. Just like all predators telling the little girl to keep everything a secret. She will not tell. Just odd. She said, or what y'all maybe talked about for her to see me. He says, she wants to meet you. I told her I am on your team. I will do what I can. She says, I want to meet her too, but if she comes back on me bad in any way, I can lose her forever and I would kill you then myself, man. He said it would not, as long as no one says anything about it being set up, no one would even know and she won't say anything to them. She says, there is a park down the road from my house, would that be okay? Then she asked if her boyfriend could just come, and hang out. I'll read you something later where he says, according to Cassie, he says that he didn't want the boyfriend to come. Then she talks about that Audrii deserves to know the truth on my end and also how much I do love her. But she says, don't you see anything wrong with that man? Like, please understand. He says, oh, I see the wrong with it and I'm trying to fix what I see wrong. You're not a bad person and she deserves the chance to know that. Because I guess the father says she's such a bad person. She says, when do you want to do this? He says, you want to do it tomorrow. He says, okay, I will take her to school tomorrow. She says, after school, correct? He says, yes. She says, what time would I need to be at the park? And you can guarantee I will hear her say it, that she wants me to be there. He said, yes, I will take her to school and have you on the phone. So he's going to let her talk to Audrii on the phone, supposedly, to reassure her that it was okay for her to come see her mom. Because she didn't want to force anything on her, she said. She said, okay, when do you take her to school? He said at 7. Okay, I'll wake up by 6:30 or 6:40. She said, I do love her and I pray this is no setup for more bad things to come to me when all I want is to know my child. Good night, hope to hear from her tomorrow. Then the next morning, which was supposedly the morning she disappeared, at Thursday 6:30, she replies morning. He replies back good morning. She says, I hope I hear from her this morning and please let her know that if she changed her mind, that is perfectly okay too and I understand. Don't want her feeling pressured. She says, so I know it's not going to be a thing today, but when she's ready, please let me know. Y'all have a good day, man. He didn't respond again till about 30 minutes later or so. He said, yes, ma'am. Then at 6:46 that evening, he says, hey, have you seen Audrii? I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gotten home. She says, no, Stephen, where the F is she? Well, you notice in his past text, he said he was going to take her to school and now suddenly it's changed to drop her off. Okay, there was something else I was going to show y'all where Cassie actually explained that day on a post. Cassie is saying her daughter was ripped from her by her father and his family a while back and have denied any type of contact in any way, even refusing my rights of visitation with her, with threats to my life. Take that all with a grain of salt. I don't know how accurate that is. I hear accusations coming from the other side, and we won't get into all that, but they're not good accusations, so. She says, Stephen is a stranger amongst other random strange men that has been allowed to live in the home of my daughter. Stephen was left in charge of Audrii as her babysitter when her father goes out on the boat to work because the father's mother is heavily mentally unstable and doped out on mental meds and cannot care for herself. Like I said, there's two sides to the story. She said now recently, Stephen started to message me about Audrii like he wanted to help her see me. I've known the man wasn't right from the jump, but used him to get any information I could about my child. Last night he messaged me trying to convince me to come alone, without my fiance, to a park around the corner from my home to meet up with him and see my daughter. He didn't want Justin coming to meet, which is so odd. These texts are so odd. He insisted Audrii didn't like my fiance and she doesn't even know him. Red flags are flying high to me at this point, but I play along with the idea in hopes to get my daughter in my sight and hands after school so that I could call her father myself to come get her from this man. And then she says, well, he tells me he's taking her to school this morning and then coming to me with her after school. I realized that wasn't the case and I messaged, I guess today isn't going to happen and have a good day, while my fiance tried to contact her father directly due to me being blocked from all ways of communication with him to let him know something wasn't right about Stephen and the whole situation. So basically, I guess he never contacted her again about meeting up. That's what I'm understanding. And so she said, I guess it's not going to happen. I don't know, it's just odd. The authorities are saying something happened about 6:45. So did she threaten to tell her mother what was going on? And that's why he didn't meet up with the mother and he maybe possibly did something to Audrii? At 7 p.m., her father's mother goes to my fiance's mother's home in the same neighborhood as they live, claiming she is missing and never got off the bus. Her father received a message from the school at 1 today saying she wasn't at school and he didn't even attempt to contact the bus barn until 5 p.m. They didn't contact the law until after 7 p.m. She said Stephen said he was taking her to school. Then when she came up missing, he all of a sudden was taking her to the bus stop, which we read that in the text. We know he switched on that. She said things don't add up. Why did he push so hard to try to get me to meet him alone? That's what I want to know. This whole case is just so bizarre. I can't even figure out why he would want to meet up with her, why he suddenly changed his mind about meeting up with her, and where's this baby? Where's this baby? I hope they find her alive, but it's not looking good. Also wanted to add in here where there is a picture, a post, disturbingly enough, where Stephen Dougal is on a page called Swingers Club, and he says on it, Livingston, Texas, looking for a couple to become friends with. Gag me. Okay, move on. According to authorities during this new conference, they said that she disappeared about 6:45 that morning. They're pinpointing it about that time. I don't know if that's from what Stephen is saying, that he last seen her, but it makes me wonder if he didn't plan this all the night before when he was actually texting Audrii's mom, because why did he want her out to the park? And I'm assuming it's the same park where they're looking for Audrii's body or Audrii alive, whatever. I don't know at this point. I hope she's alive, but it's not looking very good. Let's put it that way. And why did he want her out there too? At first, I wanted to speculate that he had done something with Audrii the night before. Won't go into detail. But then he wanted Audrii's mother out there, and so he asked her to come out there the next morning because he wanted to get rid of Audrii's mother so he could play like that Audrii's mother had actually kidnapped her. And it would be all off him. But I'm not for sure if it's been confirmed, which officers saying she disappeared at 6:45 that morning. What did he have planned to meet Cassie if he was going to do that to Audrii? It's just all so confusing. The text messages make it so much more confusing. Unfortunately, this last press conference, they were just saying everybody to stay away from the area. They did say they're looking for any video that would connect him in that area that they're looking for her body on. Also, it was confirmed that they did take Stephen out to the lake. I had heard rumors that he had been taken out by the dam or the lake area and that he had pointed out a certain area, and they did admit to that, although they said he didn't admit to a body. I don't know if he was showing them where his fishing spots were or where he usually hang out when he went to the lake. I don't know. They didn't say. They just said we took him out in the area. And I don't know exactly what he was doing out there because he has not confessed to knowing where the body is. Audrii's backpack has been confirmed to be the backpack that they found at Lake Livingston Dam. So it was definitely her backpack, which is also another bad sign. And I've also heard that her shoe was found. That was not confirmed. Police also would like for the community to be looking for Stephen's vehicle that they say could be connected to this case. It is a dark blue 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. They say that it's important that they find this vehicle. They also confirmed that they have been looking at his cell phone records, and he definitely, according to them, has not admitted to anything that he did to Audrii at this point. Although he admits that he was the last person that had seen Audrii. So if I hear any more details on this case, and I hope it's not bad details. I hope the little girl is found alive, but I'm saddened to know that the odds of that is pretty low because nothing looks good about this case. I mean, you got a sexual predator living behind the house. I don't know what he did to her in the past or what he did to her that day, if she was going to talk and he didn't want her to talk. I don't know the circumstances. All right, guys, as I said, I will get back to you if I find out anything else. And I love y'all, and y'all have a great week. And I'm hoping to get my house finished up this week. And I don't know how much video time I'll have because I'm going to be moving in. Also, my youngest son's getting married in my house, so there's going to be a lot going on. But I might update you on this in a short little video. So I'll talk to you later. Love y'all. Bye.
I've been waiting on you to come home. I've been calling you on the phone. I was getting worried, my heart beating fast, thinking you were in trouble as each hour passed.